Hello, Garland Nixon here. Some weird things going on with my Twitter account. Let's take a look at it and see if we can figure it out. Hello, Garland here, and we got a few minutes here, 15 or 20 minutes. It's Thursday morning, but yeah, weird stuff. So let me talk about what's happening with my Twitter account. So on my laptop, both my laptops, on my work computer, recently I've had some weird stuff going on, namely that I'll be signed in, and then when I try to tweet or access the account, it'll say retry, something's wrong. And then it forces me to sign back in using some kind of a code. It does this constantly nonstop. It's a an inconvenience, but never does it on my phone. So this morning I came in, I get in here, it won't let me sign in at all. Twitter will not let me sign in at all on my laptop. I'm still on my whatchamacallit, I'm still on my cell phone. So I decided, well, let me try to use my I thought, let me try to use my iPad to get in, right? And so I'll use that to sign in on my laptop. I did it. It said something's wrong. Try it later. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at it. Let me say this. If you watch my Twitter account, I mean, I'm merciless. I mean, particularly Tony Blinken tweets a lot of stuff. I blast him. Biden tweets stuff, I blast him. The Democrat Party tweets stuff, I blast them. I blast these people all day long. And then I make comments about Ukraine and Taiwan. And I don't know if you know the history of my Taiwan tweet and the infamous plan for destruction of Taiwan tweet that ended up really pissing off everybody on Capitol Hill. So I imagine I pushed him too far. But what's interesting is I'm wondering, I put it like this. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory based on how many times I've been thrown off Twitter, thrown off Facebook, and every time simply for doing the Tucker Carlson, right, for going after the deep state, for going after the powers that be. I've been thrown off time and time again. But you have to wonder to some extent if they're doing this not through Twitter, but through the machines that I operate, because somebody's doing it. Okay, so in my opinion, let's take a look at this together and see what happens. So I'm going to let you watch what I do. I'm going to share the screen and you can tell me what you think. It seems awful suspicious to me. All right, what do you know? I'm going to give you the whole screen for the purposes of this. So there's Twitter, right? So it says, hey, you're signed out of Twitter. As I'm always signed out of Twitter. Let's try to get in. You and me, shall we? So sign in is Garland, of course. So I'll try that. I'll do that, and it'll say Garland Nixon. Okay, choose an account. Now I choose an account. Look at this. Suspicious login prevented. We blocked an attempt to access your account because we weren't sure it was really you. It's on the same computer that I use all the time, and it was on Twitter earlier today. So earlier today, they were sure that this was my computer, but for some reason, they're not sure anymore, right? So it says, well, there you go. This happens when we notice unusual login attempt, right? Okay, so there we go. I'll need to wait. Well, let's try this. Choose a different verification method. Send a text message. Boom. Hey, we'll try that. A text message. That ought to get me signed in on the same computer that I'm always signed in on. Let's take a look. Oh, no, not going to happen. Suspicious login prevented. We blocked an attempt to access your account because they're not sure it was me on the same computer. Now I can't even get out of that. How about this? Use a backup code. Next, enter code. I don't have a backup code. They never gave me a backup code. I know nothing about a backup code. So since I don't have a backup code, it looks like that's out. Now, how about we try to sign in with Apple? That's an idea. We're going to go here. Where's my Apple ID? We're going to go here. We got my whatchamacallit it now. I've got my handy dandy. Let me show you real quick. Right here, my handy dandy iPad, as you can see, for all to see. Voila, nothing up my sleeve. Okay, so let's try this. Use your Apple ID to sign into Twitter. Do you want to continue using Twitter with your Apple ID? Continue. Error. Unable to complete request. Isn't that interesting? So I saw someone that said, did you try emptying data? Here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. This happens on this laptop. I have an additional Mac laptop. Same thing on that one. I go to work every day. I might watch my laptop on the system, and it started appearing suddenly and mysteriously after I blasted Tony Blinken a couple days in a row. I let Blinken have it a couple days in a row. He tweeted some stuff, and I just let him have it from one end to the other. And but now I can still tweet for now. Let me try Twitter on my phone. Boom. You can't really see that. But at any rate, so I can still tweet on my phone. But let me try my Apple device. See, if it was just this computer, browser data, sure, whatever, right? But why would it happen at my work computer, which is on the exact same thing on a completely different network? Why would it happen on my other laptop, totally different computer? Right? Yeah, I don't think, quite personally. Let me see. Let me try Twitter. Now I'm on my, there we go. So Twitter still works on my mobile devices, but apparently it's been shut down on my laptop. Apparently, and now here's the question. Why the same thing on my work machine, which is on a network? It's on a network. So the work machine, it happens. My portable laptop, I've got a little small MacBook Air that I carry around with me that I use to work on, if I'm on a train going to DC or whatever, same thing. And my laptop that I use for this at home, same thing, but none of my mobile devices. And it started off just saying, try to sign in. So it said, we're going to send you a device. We're going to send a number or text you a number and you can sign in. They text me that. Now, this is what would happen, by the way, every single time. I'd be sitting here and let's say I'm on Twitter. I go to another tab or another website, whatever. When I go back to Twitter, I'd be signed out. It would just say retry all over the place. I'd be completely signed out. And then when I tried to sign back in, it would force me to send a text message to my phone. It would say, we have to do two-party authentication, and they'd send a text message to my phone, and then I could sign back in. But if I left that browser tab, I didn't even have to leave that web page. If I clicked on another tab and started looking at something else, when I went back, I'd have to do it again. And so now what it says is, oh, you've done it too many times. So it would basically shut me down. But keep in mind something. How could it be my laptop at home on my home network, my Verizon network, when it's also my laptop on the go? I'm on the train. I'm using a little, a little hotspot. It's also on my laptop on there. And then I get to work on a different network and it does exactly the same thing. And it started on exactly the same day, over and over and over again, but not on my Android cell phone and not on my my little Apple device, my little my little iPad here. So it seems to me, in my humble opinion, and I may be wrong, and people may say that's crazy conspiracy theory, and maybe it is. Maybe it is, but it doesn't make sense. It can't be the browser history. Otherwise, why is it on various and sundry networks? 3 different networks. So, and it does the same thing. 2 different are mine. The other one is work. Now, I got an idea. Ooh. Let's try this. You see, oftentimes, one thing that may screw them up, we're going to try this. Watch this. All right. I got a plan. Guess what I'm going to do now? I'm going to try to go on through a different browser. I'm going to try to go on through the Apple browser. We're going to work on this thing together and see what happens, right? So, ooh. Oh, crap. I can't do that because apparently, let me see. Oh, let me try window. Okay, I can do it. Okay. So let's go to Twitter here and see if I can sign in. All right. So now what I'm going to try to do is sign in using my Safari browser. So we're going to work on this together. Log in. Okay. Sign in with Google. All right. It asked me for my email address. So we're going to put in my email address. Ooh, this is exciting. Then it's going to ask me for my password. I better not show my password, huh? Because if I do, everybody will have it. Now let's see what happens. Would you like to save this password? Let's just say not now. Make sure it's really you to sign in. Okay, check my. All right, so we're going to check my. It's asking me to check. Yes, it's me. So I checked my device and I said, yes, it's me, right? Now, look what had happened. Look what happened. So I tried to log in using the Safari browser. So the idea that it's a browser related doesn't make sense, does it? It's not browser related. I use the Safari, totally different browser, different settings, different everything. But this time, it let me get all the way to the point where it looked and said, hey, I'm seeing who this computer is. This ain't happening, brother. You're blocked out of there. What will be interesting to see is that whether I'm blocked out at work. So, I texted Elon Musk. I sent a text to Twitter support to see what was what. But bottom line is this: the last time, if those of you who know me know, I got suspended from Twitter for life. Before Elon Musk bought Twitter, I was suspended for life. And just before I got suspended for life, I blasted Tony Blinken. And I did this Tony Blinken thing that said things to do list for Tony Blinken, and it had your various evil things that Tony Blinken would do because he's an evil kind of guy, and evil people do evil things, right? So it had a number of things, and then they suspended me for it. Now, recently, I blasted the living snot out of Tony Blinken for any number of things, right? And Tony Blinken's a crazy sociopath, and sociopaths and narcissists tend to think of revenge and punishment, right? The will to punish. The notion that if you're around somebody and anything that happens, immediately they say, I'll fix you. I'll get that person back. They immediately think of revenge, right? Run from those kinds of people. They're usually narcissists, sociopath, things like that. When anything happens that they don't like, their immediate reaction is to want revenge, to want payback. They don't try to think it out. They don't try to consider it. They don't try to evaluate it. They don't try to think about the other person, what's going. No. Something happens that they don't like. They go to a restaurant and somebody says, and things don't work out, right? They're like, well, I like this. And the waiter says, I'm sorry, we can't do that, sir. But, we can change this for that, but we're not allowed to do that. And they say, oh, yeah, well, I know people that go to this restaurant. I'll fix them. I'll shut this restaurant. I'll tell everybody I know not to get. Their immediate reaction is to punish, is to get revenge, is to swing back, right? That's narcissism. That's sociopath. They don't think things out. It's punch back. I'll fix you. I'm going to show you how tough I am, right? And so that's why I kind of feel like whenever this happens now, I don't know if you know my other, I kind of saw this coming For those of you who don't know the story of my Taiwan tweet, I'll give it to you before I leave. So a while back, a couple months ago, I tweeted, I was actually waiting for some freaking Salvadoran food, believe it or not. And I decided to just do my normal tweet. And I tweeted, some of you may be familiar with it. I tweeted, and it's just giving you how I got there. I tweeted my breaking news tweets. You'd always do that. Breaking news. And it said, when asked if there could possibly be any disaster worse than the neocon destruction of Ukraine, President Biden responded, wait till you see my plan. If you think that's bad, and I'm paraphrasing, wait till you see my plan for the destruction of Taiwan. Okay, I tweeted that, just, being my usual sarcastic person self. And what happened was the opposition in Taiwan saw that and they tweeted it as though it was real. And man, it went freaking astronomical over there in China and Taiwan. I mean, like 2 weeks later, I was searching. In one day, it had 150 million hits. 2 weeks later, it went insane. The Taiwanese government, the Taiwan government, whoever they are, they went to the U.S. State Department and said, hey, is this real? The Chinese foreign ministry at the time, I think it was Wang Yi or whoever, maybe the new guy, they went to the Biden administration and said, we demand to know about this plan for the destruction of Taiwan. It was everywhere. It went unbelievable. And of course, something tells me that I didn't exactly endear myself to those people when that happened. Let's do this right now. Since I got to leave in a few minutes, we're having a little fun and we're working together. Why don't we search even now and see what we can find? We're going to search Garland Nixon destruction. There we go. It popped up already. Destruction of Taiwan. There we go. Even Snopes. Did Biden say, wait until you see the plan for the destruction of Taiwan? The tweet came in question from Garland Nixon, right? Ministry warns about false reports, right? The Taipei Times. Look at this. No destruction. And there we go down. U.S. radio talk show host Garland Nixon last week wrote on Twitter that sources said U.S. Look at this. This is from the Taiwan's ministry, right? We go back. Global China. From Chesapeake to cannon fodder, our plan for the destruction of Taiwan. And you go down here at some point. When asked about Nixon's tweet, that's me. Where does it have it? U.S. radio talk show political analyst Garland Nixon tweeted earlier. There's the tweet, right? And later it says, when asked about Nixon's tweet, Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin said, I'm also curious what the U.S. plan for the destruction of Taiwan looks like. So I tweeted this thing, article after article. Does the White House destroy Taiwan? Does the White House destroy Taiwan, right? Media reports, Garland Nixon. I mean, you could go on and on. Republic World. China says U.S. must provide a clear explanation for the plan for, and there we go. A media bombshell dropped in Washington by Garland Nixon, right? I mean, you could just keep going. U.S. needs to offer clear explanation about its plan for the destruction of Taiwan, right? You can go on and on. Distrust. I can go article after article. Distrust grows towards Washington amid revelation of U.S. destruction of Taiwan plan. U.S. radio talk show host Garland Nixon, right? I'm not doing this, I'm just showing you. It went crazy, right? U.S. plan for destruction of Taiwan draws public outcry. Boom. There you go. And there it is. Garland Nixon, there's me. So if you want to wonder, I guarantee you, let's check the news right now. Garland Nixon, destruction of Taiwan. Look, China's weapon of choice in Taiwan, the report about Biden's alleged plan for the destruction of Taiwan, right? China's two sessions foreign ministry demands U.S. explain its destruction of Taiwan plans. Garland Nixon, on and on and on, right? So, and I mean, it was in all of the, it was in Yahoo News, MSN. I mean, it was everywhere. It went bananas. I had people who contacted me from China. I was interviewed by Chinese media. I had people from Taiwan contact me saying, you know, look, uh, um, you know, you've literally, I had somebody contact me and say, Garland, you've done more to educate the people in Taiwan than anyone in history, right? I'm like, really? What the hell, right? Come to find out, they had like professors and intellectuals and foreign policy analysts on television discussing this. Well, what do you think the plan for Taiwan is? Well, this guy Nixon said there's a plan for Taiwan, and I watched one, but it was interpreted for me. It was in Chinese, but it had subtitles, and the guy was saying, well, you know, I really think that Biden has probably planted explosives all over Taiwan. And then when things go down, he's going to have everything blow up. And probably the people that are saying it's all a lie, it's all a fraud, they're the ones that are in on it. There are people here, there are traitors that are in on it. They're going to blow our out. This was going crazy, right? I had to find them, all these pictures of media, like Taiwanese media, where there's people discussing their, you know, the equivalent of their CNN, people discussing it, pictures of me, pictures of the tweet, right? So then I did some other Taiwan tweets later on. I wake up one day, you know, there's even more there. There's new stuff from some of my later on Taiwan tweets. Then I'm told by people in China, they're like, you know, they're reporting on you a lot in China, Garland. They're watching your Twitter, they're reporting on your tweets, etc. Right? So apparently that was the tweet heard around the world. Apparently, I mean, it's unbelievable how big that tweet went. And it was just, I didn't mean, it was simply my normal daily sarcastic tweets. However, let me say this about that, because I'm talking about what might have gotten me the hell thrown off of Twitter or whatever it is now, locked out on any, you know, hardline network kind of stuff. I'm only right now able to get on through my cell phone or my my iPad. I think that well, we already know a couple of things, that due to that tweet, due to the opposition in Taiwan blowing it up, due to the Chinese government, they blew that tweet up. We already know that the Taiwanese government and the Chinese government went to the U.S. State Department and said, is this real? Which means the U.S. State Department, let's face it, would have to go to Joe Biden and ask, did he say that? Because they'd have no way of knowing. And even if Joe Biden said, I didn't say that, they still have no way of knowing, because Joe Biden wouldn't remember if he did. Is that guy really reliable to ask him whether he remembers what he did yesterday? I don't think so. So the truth is, they don't even know if it really happened, and they don't even really know if there was a leak to me. So they got to be like, did Biden say that? Is there a leaker? Because let's face it, they kind of got a plan to blow up Taiwan, right? Let's see. Let me watch this. Watch this. Before I go, I got to show this. Watch this. All right, look at this. Here's the problem they got. U.S. would destroy Taiwan's semiconductor factories rather than letting them fall into China's hands, a former national security advisor says, right? So as angry as they are at me, I now you understand why. Because they really do have a plan to destroy Taiwan. They do really have a plan for the destruction of Taiwan. And it has nothing to do with Garland Nixon and sarcastic tweets. Apparently, it was already in place. Partially, we already know that Taiwan is planned to be Ukraine 2.0, that they plan to blow the hell out of Taiwan and use it for a battlefield between two nuclear superpowers. Well, ain't nobody going to support Taiwan, a little freaking island with 30-some million people. They ain't coming out of that one alive. We already know that. So when people like Garland Nixon start tweeting the truth, and then it hits Taiwan, and the other thing about the people in Taiwan, they got to be looking at the Nord Stream, and they got to say, well, hell, Germany's been their ally a whole lot longer than us, and they ain't even Chinese. So I would imagine if they'll blow the hell out of the Nord Stream, and they're saying that our gigantic major industry of Taiwan, which is this gigantic chip factory, if they're saying that they'll blow that up, then clearly their plan is for the total complete destruction of Taiwan. Their plan was take the TSMC factory, move it to Arizona, which they're in the process of doing, and then blow up the original one and wipe out Taiwan and then own the market. That's, by blinking people like that's their game plan. But the bottom line is, can't tell anybody there's their game plan because they won't let me in Twitter. Now, ask yourself, why? Why is it? What difference does it make for Garland Nixon to be locked out of Twitter? Who cares if he's locked out on his main computer, but he's not locked out on his mobile devices? That's an easy one. So I can't go live on Twitter. You see, I use StreamYard. People always say to me, Garland, why is it that when you start, you have a 30-second countdown? That's a pain in the neck. Stop doing that. The reason I do that is because I stream. Facebook has me. How about this? Facebook's locked me out too. I can't go live on Facebook for months and months and months. So what is it? What is it? When I go stream live, I stream on YouTube, on Facebook. Facebook's locked me out. I can't stream live on Facebook now, right? Twitch, whatever the hell that is, Rockfin, and Twitter, right? Stream live on Twitter. I was just looking at one of my Twitter things the other day. One of my Twitter streams, it had like 17,000 or something crazy, or over 20,000 views. So bottom line is, if they lock me out from my laptop browser, that means I can't stream live. I can't go live to Twitter when I go live to everybody else. It stops Twitter live. So I guess they figured, well, we won't shut him out of Twitter, but we'll shut him out of Twitter live, which is very, very interesting. So, but as you probably have figured out, I'm going to figure a way around that using my whatchamacallit devices. In fact, I think what I can probably do is use a mobile device and set it up at the same time, put it on a tripod sitting where I am now, and just do this on StreamYard and my normal stuff, and use a mobile device, in which of course they'll find a way to shut that down too. People are saying it's Twitter. I don't think this is Twitter. I don't believe this is Twitter, because Twitter doesn't make sense right now that they would shut me down like that. It just doesn't make sense right now. And the way that it's working, right? It could be Twitter, but it could also very well be deep state forces. And again, while Elon Musk is in charge of Twitter, there's still deep state forces. Remember, they hired so many CIA and FBI people that all Tony Blinken has to do is pick up his phone. He's got a hot red phone to those people. Call his people and say, get some of your people over in the inside of CIA and at Twitter, and tell them to lock this bastard out. We do not want him going live. We're sick and tired of that. So at any rate, that's that. So now I'm gonna have to use my mobile devices to even upload this. So it's interesting. Just wanted to show you this guy. Show you this. Someone says those people are all gone. Are they really? Are they really? The ones that he knew of may be all gone. Does that mean that there aren't operatives? Let's face it. Yeah, the ones that he knew of that were intelligence may be gone. Maybe. I don't even know for sure that they're all gone, but that doesn't mean that they're not there, that people don't know. So at any rate, that's that. Just wanted to do a short video to tell you what was happening with me on Twitter. Thanks a lot. I'm out.